What if I told you that demanding respect had nothing to do with proving yourself to others or confrontation? Inspired by the wisdom of Stoic thinkers such as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, this video delves deeply into 5 transforming attitudes that will enable you to transcend disrespect. These ageless teachings will enable you to remain balanced, steady, and respected in every circumstances. Make sure you watch till the very last, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more material that will enable you to thrive if you're willing to apply ancient wisdom to modern problems. Number 1. The attitude of indifference. Many bad things happened in Epictetus's life, but he always said, "It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it." This deep and seemingly simple idea is at the heart of Stoic thought. We're going to talk a lot about the first Stoic attitude that can totally change how you deal with disrespect today: indifference. Let's look at what indifference really means, especially when it comes to the problems we face every day, before you dismiss this as a cold and distant way of life. Indifference doesn't mean you don't care about what's going on around you or try to avoid problems. It actually doesn't mean you don't care about other people or your goals. It just means that you won't let other people or things affect how you feel, especially when it comes to disrespect. Let us now break this down. Everyone has to deal with disrespect. There's a chance it's a rude, snide, or passive-aggressive statement. People often do these things to make you feel something, like anger, upset, or defensiveness. They want to keep your feelings in check. But something very important happens when you show that their words or actions don't bother you and that they aren't able to move you. You gain control again. That's where lack of interest comes in. In the Stoic view, indifference is not the same as being uninterested. You don't have to not care about your beliefs, your pride, or your emotional health. It's about deciding not to let someone else's disrespect change how you feel. You can do it or not. You have the choice to let someone's disrespectful behavior affect you in every setting. The choice is yours. Will their words bother you, or will you let them go by like water off a duck's back? Consider it for a while. Someone wants to see how you react when they insult you. They require getting close to you. These people want to upset you and make you feel weak, small, or ashamed. They want to see how far they can push your mental limits. If you don't react, if you stay calm and collected no matter what they say, you take away their power in a way that no argument could. Their words lose their power, and they keep waiting for a response that never comes. Because he was a slave, was beaten, and was sent away, Epictetus understood this better than anyone else. There were many hard things in his life, but he didn't let them control his inner happiness. His lessons were based on the idea that we can only control how we deal with problems in life. Things that happened to him or people that did bad things to him were out of his control, but he could choose how to respond to them. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters, are his famous words. They remind us that no one or thing else should control our emotions but ourselves. How do you put apathy into practice in your daily life? Let's look at some events that happened in real life. There you are in a work meeting, and a co-worker rudely comments on an idea you just mentioned. You might want to protect yourself, argue back, or try to show them they're wrong. But this is where the Stoic mindset of not caring about anything comes in. It's possible that you could stay cool, take a deep breath, and keep talking as if nothing had happened. Won't that make me look weak, or like I'm letting them walk all over me? I know what you're thinking. In fact, the reverse is true. Show that you're in charge of your feelings by not getting angry or upset when they treat you badly. You are not going to give their view more weight than it needs to have. In reaction, You might not say anything, but your silence says a lot. Your negativity doesn't affect me, it says. I'm sure of my ideas and worth, so I don't need to defend myself against what you said. It all comes from Epictetus, who said that the key to emotional freedom is to understand that outside factors, like other people's views, can't control you unless you give them the power to. They're the ones who are rude, not you. Their view of you doesn't matter unless you choose it to. You can still control how you feel in that moment of silence. No matter how hard they try, they can't shake you. Let's look at one more. Imagine you're walking down the street and someone bumps into you on purpose and doesn't say sorry. Although it is rude and disrespectful, what if you didn't get mad and just kept going, not noticing their behavior at all? It's just a simple show of not caring. Their rudeness doesn't get in the way of your day. What they did is not your fault. How you feel about it is. You got your power back at that point. Stoicism helps us learn how to be strong emotionally in this way. Being emotionally stable doesn't mean ignoring or being cold to the world around you. It means controlling how you feel about things that happen in the outside world. When you show indifference, you don't let other people's small acts affect how you feel. You've decided to keep your peace of mind instead, no matter what is going on around you. Let us now talk about the more profound psychological and intellectual effects of being indifferent. If you learn how to be indifferent, you stop basing your sense of self-worth on what other people think of you. You understand that their thoughts, feelings, and words don't make you who you are. Only you can decide how much you're worth. Realizing that your worth doesn't depend on approval from other people is a very freeing feeling. More strength and a stronger sense of who you are develop over time. Feelings of mental freedom can also come from not caring about anything. You will let outside events affect your mood less and less as you practice it. Stop putting your energy into things that don't deserve it. Do not fight fights that do not matter. You instead put your energy into things that are in line with your ideals and matters to you, and you let the rest go. That's real strength. Deciding to put your energy into things that bring you peace, instead of insults or negative thoughts that won't last. Lastly, it's important to stress that being indifferent doesn't mean hiding your feelings or acting like they don't matter. Allowing yourself to choose how to react is critical. Figuring out that just because someone treats you badly, it doesn't mean you have to let it get inside you. Safeguarding your peace is within your grasp, and this ability gets better with practice. So the next time someone treats you badly, whether at work, with friends, or even online, try acting like you don't care. Inhale deeply. Wait a minute. Understand that you don't have to respond to their rudeness. It's not necessary for you to show them anything. Their view of you doesn't change how valuable you are unless you give it to them. Relax. Maintain your peace. Watch how the world changes when you refuse to let bad feelings control how you feel. Number 2, the attitude of self-respect. For example, Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic ruler who was wise and clear-headed, said, "You have control over your mind, not outside events. Knowing this will make you strong." His words aren't just ideas, they're also a way to live a strong, deep life. Speaking of which, the second thing that will stop someone from disrespecting you is self-respect. Understanding this clearly. Having self-respect does not mean being cocky or proud. It means realizing how valuable you are on your own. Not caring what other people think or do, it's about staying firm in the truth of who you are and knowing your worth. Seriously, when someone treats you badly, it's usually because they can tell you don't treat them with care. People can disrespect you if you don't value your time, energy, or beliefs. Your behavior affects others, and if you let others regularly cross your lines, ignore your needs, or waste your time, it's like you're inviting them to do the same. But what happens when you respect yourself enough? When do you respect your time, your limits, and your beliefs? More and more people are treating you with the same amount of care. Not even raising your voice is necessary. Just ask for it. Without meaning to, your actions, your quiet confidence, speak louder than words. By showing respect for yourself, you create a bar that others can't cross. We're not just doing this once, a change in thinking that needs regular practice. Thinking about your core ideals every morning is one of the most powerful exercises in Stoicism. Prior to the start of your busy day, ask yourself, am I living in line with the person I want to be? Simply asking this question makes you think about what you're doing and how you're acting. Being aware of how you're living in a way that respects your deepest values helps you make sure you're not just going through the motions. There were many times when Marcus Aurelius did this in meditations, where he wrote long passages about the good qualities he wanted to have. The next day, he told himself to be honest, wise, and humble. These thoughts weren't just unimportant thoughts. They were reminders to himself to live up to his highest ideals, even if it was hard or inconvenient. For example, he asked himself during one of his thoughts, "What do I have control over today?" To stay true to my values, be kind, practice self-discipline, and seek the truth. Clarity gave him strength, even when things were very chaotic and under a lot of stress. Using this method to respect yourself will make your actions match your values, and your life will start to show who you really are. Staying true to your ideals will make your self-respect stronger. You can't move it with any outside force because it becomes an anchor. Others who treat you badly will feel the weight of your inner power. In their minds, you are rooted in something more substantial than the views and opinions of others. Although this doesn't mean you can't be criticized anymore, it does mean that criticism can't throw off your mental balance. Because you're sure of who you are, you don't need other people's support to feel appreciated. Bullies will finally figure out that you're not the type to be easily swayed. Their fear is taken away by your quiet self-respect, which makes them understand they can't hurt your feelings, control you, or make you feel less important. Maintaining limits is another part of having self-respect. Throughout meditations, Marcus Aurelius often tells himself to stay out of pointless fights and avoid wasting time on things that don't support his beliefs. When someone hurts you, remember that they are just doing what they know, he wrote. They don't have power over their mental states. Taking away the emotional charge of rudeness is what this is asking. As opposed to reacting without thinking, he suggests reacting with clarity, grace, and force. Imagine you're at work and someone else takes credit for an idea you brought up. Feeling angry, frustrated, or embarrassed. Instead of reacting emotionally, you quietly claim the idea as your own. Even if someone argues or raises their voice, just being there and standing strong in your truth is enough. Your statement could be, "I think that idea came from my earlier proposal, and I'd like to make that clear for the team." Your self-respect shows in this simple sentence. You respect yourself enough to take what is truly yours without having to prove anything to anyone. People who respect themselves also don't let others abuse your time or energy. Speaking no when needed and not feeling bad about it is what it's about. People or events that drain you should be left alone. Self-respect means knowing that you have the right to keep your peace and mental energy, Simply stating your beliefs and acting in line with them is not the same as being rude or cold. For those who value their time, you won't let others waste it. If you respect honesty, you won't waver in your commitment to it to make other people happy. Because you respect yourself, your limits become a natural part of how you interact with others. Persons who don't respect your limits will naturally leave, but people who do will come forward to meet you. Consider self-respect as the invisible shield that keeps your mental health safe. You can't be hurt by insults or criticism from other people once you have this sense of self-worth. Nothing someone says or does can lower your worth. Individuals will be unable to shake you as much as you practice this inner strength. It's the strongest defense against rudeness to have inner strength and the ability to hold on to your self-respect. Though people may try to push your limits, they will understand that they can't do that if they see you steadily upholding them. Because it is based in the deepest parts of who you are, your self-respect is a quiet but strong force that attracts respect. Therefore, I urge you to think about your beliefs right now. Identify with the question, am I living in line with the person I want to be? If not, what's one small thing you can do today to start living closer to those values? Maintaining your values will easily boost your self-respect, and others will do the same. Number 3, the attitude of controlled speech. As long as you live, keep learning how to live, said Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers. This simple but deep quote tells us to keep learning, changing, and mastering ourselves, especially when things are uncomfortable. Furthermore, Seneca taught that managed speech has the power to change things. A world that values quick responses, spontaneous conversations, and emotional outbursts, the Stoics, including Seneca, saw something much more powerful: the power to control our speech. If so, why? Because the words we use have awesome power. They have the power to make battles worse or leave them completely unarmed. Using controlled words can be very helpful when someone treats you badly. Imagine this: when things are hot, someone insults, puts down, or disrespects you in front of other people. People's first emotional response is often to defend themselves. People want to defend themselves and get back at those who hurt them with words that fit the situation. Fighting fire with fire is something we do naturally. Unfortunately, acting without thinking rarely fixes problems, inflames the situation. As a result of knowing this, Seneca often talked about how important it was to think before moving. He told Lucilius in one of his letters, "Delay is the best way to recover from anger." He's basically saying, don't react right away when someone is angry, critical, or rude. Permit yourself some time to think. After thinking, wait to speak. Truthful control is in this area between stimulus and reaction. Basically, when someone insults or disrespects you, they're not just attacking your character. They want you to respond. They want you to get mad, guarded, or upset. To which the Stoics would reply, don't give them the satisfaction. Feelings should not be controlled by what they say. Regaining your power means holding back your response and speaking slowly and carefully instead. Using controlled speech is a choice that you make on purpose. Intentional responding means stopping to think and then responding. It's not necessary to be ready with a sharp response or reply. To be more specific, the most calming thing you can do is just acknowledge what they said without giving any emotional charge. Today, Seneca's teachings are useful. Speaking quietly is a sign of power and self-control, he told us. Consider a situation in which you are having a tense talk with someone who insults you, possibly in front of other people. Your mind and heart are both running with possible responses. but you choose to stay calm instead of sending back a hateful answer. Take a big breath in. Simply saying, "I hear what you're saying," is enough of a response. Okay, that's it. You don't make matters worse. There is no attempt to defend yourself or a debate. You simply agree with what was said and disappear. That person might be expecting you to strike out. It surprises them when you don't. Although they were ready to fight, your calmness has taken away their weapons. Seneca's advice is simple. Do not respond in anger, because it makes you less smart and weakens your case. It's easy to let someone else control the scenario and your own feelings when you react without thinking. Their rudeness affects how you feel and what you do. You keep your power and show that you are in charge of your reactions when you answer calmly and mindfully. What about practice this controlled speech in real life? Starting with being aware. Try pausing the next time someone treats you badly and you feel frustrated or angry. Do not rush your breathing. Let your mind wander for a short time, even if it's only for a second. It's easier to speak clearly and calmly when your feelings aren't controlling what you say. We suffer more often in our imaginations than in reality, Seneca stated. This quote talks about the psychological fact that our reactions to situations, particularly ones that are stressful or argumentative, are often heightened by the emotions we are feeling inside. The situation might not be as bad as it seems at first. Anytime we let our feelings take over, we change the truth of what's happening. Although, if we practice controlled speaking, we can stop this distortion right away. It's easier to see things clearly when we take away our feelings from the situation. In real life, how can you use limited speech? Let's look at some examples. In the workplace, someone insults you unfairly in a meeting. Instead of pushing back or defending yourself right away, you quietly say, "I see your point of view. Allow us to look into this more." Observe that this has nothing to do with their rudeness. As an alternative, you make a positive space for settlement without making things worse. 2. In relationship situations, a friend says something hurtful about something personal. As an alternative to getting angry or insulting back, you take a moment to say, "I don't agree with that, but I value our relationship and think we should talk it through." You're strong, mature, and determined to keep the talk polite by doing this. People try to put you down or make rude comments about you while you're out with other people. You say, "I'd prefer if we keep the conversation respectful," instead of getting angry. You've maintained a professional distance by setting limits without getting into a fight. You don't have to avoid all disagreement when you use controlled speech, which is one of its great qualities. There's no shame in standing up for yourself. That person who is insulting you is not lower than you are. You take the talk to a higher level by using words that show you respect yourself and are calm. Show that you are not dependent on outside situations by showing this kind of restraint. Being at peace, having confidence, and feeling like you're worth something doesn't depend on how other people treat you. It depends on how you react to them. According to Seneca, what bothers us is not the thing itself, but our judgment about it. Ignoring the rudeness from others doesn't affect us when we stay calm. We're not harmed because we decide how to react. In the future, when someone tries to treat you badly, remember Seneca's wise words and resist the urge to let their words make you feel bad. Simply take a deep breath, pick your words carefully, and answer with poise. It will keep the peace and earn you the respect you deserve if you answer calmly. Number 4. The attitude of gratitude. Even though it seems counterintuitive, showing thanks is one of the best ways to stop disrespect. A person's rudeness may make you feel angry or hurt at first. Socratic philosophy tells us to think about how we see these things. Stoics believed that practicing thanks could change our minds from being emotionally reactive to being thoughtfully resilient during hard times. Stoic ruler and philosopher Marcus Aurelius was very good at this. "Think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, and to love," he wrote in Meditations. The simplicity of this lesson helps us see things in a new way. Although the world is full of bad things like stress, negativity, and conflict, being thankful helps us rise above it all and focus on what really counts. How does showing thanks look when someone treats you badly? Not denying the pain you may feel or acting like rude actions don't bother you is not what it means. More importantly, it's about choosing to see the chance for growth that every task brings. Staying cool, keeping your pride, and thinking about what you can learn from the situation are all things that can make you strong. Please consider this. The next time someone treats you badly, whether it's through a hurtful word, an unfair accusation, or just putting you down, please take a step back. Prior to responding with anger or defense, take a moment to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Tell me about your beliefs and how you want to react to this situation. Mindfulness, a Stoic technique, is very useful in this situation. By developing an attitude of thanks, we can turn every problem, every unfair situation, into a chance to grow as people. Others can't tell us how to feel, so we take charge of how we react. We no longer entrust others with our power, we now own it. A famous Stoic thinker named Seneca said, "A gift, even when rejected, is not less of a gift." Although disrespectful, this sentence tells us that it doesn't make us less valuable. It even becomes a chance to show character. Disrespect from others can help us become more patient, strong, and self-disciplined. By helping us develop these traits, we can feel more at peace with ourselves and in charge, instead of acting on impulse or getting angry. Using an example will help us understand it better. It's possible that a co-worker's sarcastic statement in a work meeting would make you feel low esteem. Your first reaction might be to fire back with a sharp rebuttal, to support your ideas, or to tell them they're acting rudely. Stop for a moment before you do. Relax and breathe out. Instead of responding emotionally, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? In this situation, you might want to learn self-control by realizing that you don't have to defend yourself to anyone. Possibly, it's a chance to show that your worth isn't based on what other people think. Alternatively, it could be a chance to think about how you can be more assertive in the future. You can change your attention from the offense to the chance to grow by choosing gratitude in these situations. When we take these events as lessons, they can't make us unstable. These things actually make us stronger. The Stoic view of gratitude goes beyond just being grateful for the good things in life. Having an attitude of gratitude for everything, the problems, the setbacks, and the uncomfortable moments, helps us learn, grow, and become stronger. Marcus Aurelius had survived hard times before. For him, though, each problem was a chance to be good. His book, Meditations, has this passage, "The impediment to action advances action. Whatever is in the way turns into the way." It sounds like Marcus is saying that problems like disrespect, criticism, or difficulty are what push us forward. With thanks instead of resistance, we can face them and turn them into opportunities to grow. Each challenge, slight or moment of disrespect can teach us something that makes us stronger, gives us a greater sense of purpose, and improves our character. This practice will help you apply the Stoic way of thinking to your everyday life. Spend a few minutes thinking about what you're thankful for when you wake up in the morning. It doesn't have to be big or complicated. It can be something easy. knowing that you can learn and grow. Enjoy the love of family and friends, your intelligent and logical thinking, the way you feel. Thankfulness in small ways sets the tone for your day and reminds you that you control your thoughts, no matter what is going on around you. When you're in a tough or rude position, remember that gratitude. Simply remind yourself that this is a chance to grow. Why is this happening to me? Possibly it's patience. Maybe you need to set clear limits. Possibly it's a warning that what other people think doesn't determine your worth. Thankfulness keeps you from getting caught up in the hurtful feelings of others' rudeness. In a different case, let's say you're walking down the street and someone starts talking to you rudely. The last time this happened, you may have gotten angry or even attacked back. You now see this as a chance to practice equanimity because you are practicing Stoic thanks. Feeling grateful for the present moment, it's a chance to make yourself stronger emotionally. You don't have to react to every slight because you know that other people's opinions don't determine your worth. Take this method without being passive. You are actively picking your answer. You consciously shift your focus from the bad things in the world to your own growth when you practice gratitude. With practice, turning disrespect into a chance to grow will become second nature. Gratitude takes away the feeling that the world around us is out of our control. We gain control over our emotions and firmly maintain our ability to decide how we feel and what we do. Without gratitude, we would be easily shaken by what other people do or say. That's what the Stoics taught us. How we react, not what happens to us, makes us strong. Number 5. The attitude of walking away. If you want to get better, be happy being thought foolish and stupid, Epictetus said. This may seem strange at first. Why do you want other people to think you're stupid? The more important Stoic lesson here is that leaving a setting where someone is being disrespectful is not a sign of weakness, but of mastery. It's the choice to put your peace ahead of strife that isn't necessary. When you walk away, you take back control of your surroundings and look after your mental health. People who treat you badly usually want you to respond in some way. They want to make you angry, defensive, or upset. Their story about how powerful and in charge they are over you is strengthened by your inner turmoil. You'll give them exactly what they want if you stay and talk to them. Your time, your emotional energy, and your reply. You're basically letting them decide how the conversation will go. However, leaving the conversation ends it. It stops the negative loop and takes away their power over your feelings. The act of going away is not the same as running away from a problem or giving up. Stepping away from something that doesn't help you is a choice. Epictetus was a Stoic philosopher who said that the only things we can control are our thoughts and deeds. We have no control over anything else. In this way, when we choose to walk away from disrespect, we are basically practicing our right to choose how to react to things that happen around us. The Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "You have control over your mind, not over outside events." If you understand this, you will be strong. One way to show this power is to walk away. By stepping away from a fight or argument, you decide not to let it affect your peace of mind. You know that your happiness is not based on what other people think or do. So how do you start to get good at this Stoic habit? The first thing you need to do is learn to spot the early warning signs of disrespect getting worse. Most of the time, people will test your limits in small ways, like by making casual comments or acting in a passive-aggressive way. Now is the time to choose whether to get involved or take a step back. Pay attention to how you feel right now. Are your blood pressure levels starting to go up? Are you having trouble thinking because you're angry or frustrated? If that's the case, this is your cue to shut up. If you feel like the talk is getting hostile, ask yourself, what am I really getting out of staying here? Is this conversation helping me grow, stay calm, or reach my goals? The answer is no most of the time. Lack of respect rarely leads to progress. That doesn't help people understand each other, solve problems, or have better relationships. Almost always, it only causes trouble and wastes energy. Changing how you think about walking away is the second step. It has nothing to do with being weak. It's about setting limits. It shows a lot of respect for yourself to walk away. It tells them that you won't stand for behavior that makes you feel less important. If you walk away from rudeness, you're basically telling them, I value myself too much to deal with this kind of behavior. This change in how you think about things lets you see walking away as a sign of strength and self-discipline instead of a way to avoid something or fail. You take charge of the situation when you decide to walk away. You say that proving a point or winning a fight are not nearly as important as keeping your peace and honor. It means knowing when to step away and not letting other people's bad moods bring you down. Emotional separation is a very important skill for learning how to walk away. Stoicism tells us over and over that we can't change other people, but we can change how we react to them. When you emotionally distance yourself, you don't become cold or uncaring. It just means you learn not to take what other people say or do personally. You know that disrespecting someone says more about them than about you. Being indifferent to what other people think of us is what Epictetus taught us. When you mentally separate from a situation, you stop being on the defensive all the time. No longer do you see what the other person does as an attack on your character. You think that their rudeness is a sign of their own problems, not a verdict on your worth. You can walk away with ease and confidence after this mental shift. Additionally, keep in mind that emotionally separating from someone is a process. It doesn't happen right away. When someone disrespects you, it takes practice to not respond right away. But each time you choose to separate and walk away, you make it easier for yourself to stay calm. Over time, this will feel more normal to you, and other people's bad moods will no longer affect you. When you leave, you're not just getting out of a problem, you're also making a boundary. Having boundaries is important for keeping your self-respect. They keep us from letting other people take advantage of our time, energy, and mental health. One clear way to set limits is to walk away. It lets people know, I won't stand for this. I'm not going to take part in this behavior. People will learn how to treat you by doing this. People are much more likely to follow your rules if they see that you always do so. If you let disrespect go by without changing your mind, it means you're okay with it. In contrast, leaving makes it clear that you expect more. Even if other people don't get it right away, it turns into a subtle but strong way to talk that commands respect. You always have the option of having no opinion. Marcus Aurelius writes in Meditations, worrying about things you can't change will never get you anywhere good. This quote reminds me that leaving is often the smartest thing to do because it lets me stay objective and in charge of my own responses. Going away from rudeness has huge long-term benefits. To begin, it helps you keep your mental and physical energy up. Arguments that don't lead anywhere or conflicts that are harmful drain you. You can't focus on your goals, your relationships, or your health as well as you should. Leaving gives you back that energy, which you can then use for more useful and satisfying activities. The second benefit is that it makes you stronger emotionally. Every time you say no to disrespect, you get better at staying steady when things get tough. You become less affected by other people's actions and more in charge of how you respond over time. The main idea behind Stoic advice is to let go of things you can't change. Finally, going away lets you keep your pride. You not need to show anyone what you can do. It's not necessary for you to defend your worth. You say that your self-respect is important to you when you walk away. By picking peace over pride, you show that you are truly strong. Not staying is not a sign of weakness. It shows strength and self-respect. Knowing your peace is more important than being right, and your honor is more valuable than any fight is what it means. You take back control of your feelings and protect your sense of self-worth by going away. When someone treats you badly, know that you don't have to stay and fight. The most important thing you can do sometimes is to just leave. By doing this, you not only disarm the other person, but you also disarm yourself from the need to fight in a harmful, pointless way. If you want to follow the highest Stoic ideals of wisdom, courage, and self-mastery, you can choose to walk away. Pick your limits and your peace, and then leave feeling sure that you made the right choice. Here are 5 Stoic ways of thinking that can completely change how you deal with disrespect. These are not just ways to deal with other people. They are also rules for living a better, more stable life. Remember that the point is not to control other people or make them respect you. Mastering yourself is the point. It will come easily to show respect. Please click the like button, share this video with someone who needs to see it, and don't forget to subscribe. This channel's only goal is to help you do well by applying old wisdom to current life. Take a deep breath, stand tall, and know that your power is inside you. Until next time, keep watching the next video.